They laugh at him, push him, break him down. In a Thai prison where violence is law and survival is earned with blood, one foreigner stands no chance, or so they think. What they don't know is that this broken addict is about to turn hell itself into a boxing ring. This is a prayer before dawn. The story follows Billy Moore, a young British man who doesn't just make bad choices, he runs straight into them without looking back. Drugs, crime, and chaos become his daily routine, a reckless lifestyle fueled by addiction and impulse. Every high pulls him deeper, every bad decision stacks on the last. His life turns into a non-stop downward spiral, with no brakes, no direction, and no exit in sight. Billy knows he's losing control, but he doesn't stop. Instead, he keeps pushing the limit, crossing lines he can't uncross, until one violent mistake in Thailand finally brings everything crashing down. In a foreign country, far from home, Billy learns the hard way that consequences don't care about excuses. And this time, there is no second chance. Billy is sentenced to Klong Prem Prison, one of the most violent and unforgiving prisons on Earth. A place so notorious it's known as the Bangkok Hilton, not as a joke, but as a warning. Inside these walls, survival is never guaranteed, and weakness is punished immediately. Fights break out without reason, drugs flow freely, gangs control the corridors, and death always feels one step away. This is not a redemption story that begins with hope. There is no mercy here, no safety net, no one coming to save him. It begins with fear, raw, paralyzing fear, and a man who realizes that if he doesn't change fast, if he doesn't find a way to fight back, he won't just lose his freedom, he won't make it out alive. The moment Billy steps inside the prison, reality slams into him like a punch to the chest. The air is thick and suffocating, heavy with sweat, filth, and desperation. Every breath feels earned. Overcrowded cells stretch endlessly in every direction, rows of sweat-soaked bodies pressed together, sleeping, eating, and rotting in the same filthy space. Men are stacked on top of one another, stripped of dignity, trapped like animals in a cage with no way out. There is no privacy here, no comfort, no escape. This place doesn't run on justice or order. There are no rules that protect you, only rules that break you. Billy doesn't speak Thai. He can't understand the shouting echoing through the corridors, the threats whispered in the dark, or the unspoken codes that decide who eats, who bleeds, and who disappears. He doesn't know the gangs, the alliances, or the invisible lines you're never allowed to cross. And standing among these hardened inmates, men shaped by violence and survival, Billy looks out of place, smaller, thinner, weak. And in prison, weakness is an invitation. That makes him a target. Every night, the prison erupts into chaos. Fights explode without warning, bodies slamming into concrete walls, bones cracking under boots, blood pooling across the floor. Screams cut through the darkness as guards watch from a distance, stepping in only when the damage is already done. Control is an illusion here. Survival is earned minute by minute. Drugs move through the cells faster than food or water, traded like currency, offered as comfort or used as leverage. Prisoners inject, smoke, and snort anything they can find, not for pleasure, but to numb the terror, to escape reality, to survive one more night inside this living nightmare. Billy, already broken by addiction, doesn't fight it. He doesn't resist. He falls right back into the darkness, using drugs not to get high, but to forget where he is, even if only for a moment. Billy learns quickly that in this place, neutral doesn't exist. There is no staying quiet, no keeping your head down. Survival depends on choosing a side, and the prison is ruled by powerful Thai gangs, each one divided by region, loyalty, and bloodline. These groups don't just dominate the yard, they control everything that matters: food, protection, drugs, favors, even who gets to sleep safely and who gets dragged out in the night. And Billy? He belongs to none of them. As a foreigner, he stands completely alone.
No allies, no protection, no one willing to step in when things go bad. That makes him expendable, an easy target. He's shoved aside without warning, beaten for no reason, humiliated in front of everyone to remind him exactly where he stands, treated less like a man and more like a message. Some inmates pretend he doesn't exist, others see him as something worse. With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Billy escapes the only way he knows. He dives headfirst back into drugs, letting heroin drown out the noise, the fear, and the constant threat of violence hanging over him every second of every day. Every hit steals a little more of his strength. His body wastes away, his movements slow, his thoughts blur together until days and nights no longer matter. When he looks at himself, he barely recognizes what's left. The man he used to be disappears, replaced by someone hollow, numb, and barely holding on. At this point, Billy isn't fighting to survive. He isn't planning an escape. He isn't dreaming of freedom or redemption. He's just postponing death, one numb night at a time. The moment Billy hears about Muay Thai fights inside the prison allows inmates to fight in organized bouts for entertainment, gambling, and discipline. Winners earn privileges, better food, protection, and respect. Billy sees something different, a chance. Despite being malnourished and addicted, he volunteers, not because he's confident, but because he has nothing left to lose. Training is brutal. No proper equipment, no recovery, just pain. Billy trains alongside hardened Thai fighters who've been practicing Muay Thai since childhood. They mock him at first. This skinny foreigner shaking from withdrawal doesn't look like a fighter, but Billy keeps showing up, bleeding, exhausted, still standing. For the first time in years, he chooses discipline over drugs. Billy's first fight is chaos. He's nervous, slow, unbalanced. His opponent dominates early, smashing elbows and knees into Billy's face. The crowd laughs, expecting an easy win. Then, something clicks. Billy absorbs the pain, pushes forward, throws everything he has. He loses the fight, but he doesn't quit.
And in prison, that matters. Billy keeps fighting, again and again. With each match, he improves. His timing sharpens, his body hardens, and his confidence grows. Guards start noticing. Inmates stop mocking him. Most importantly, Billy stays clean. Muay Thai becomes his new addiction. Each victory brings protection, better conditions, and something he hasn't felt in years, self-worth. But prison doesn't let go easily. After a devastating loss and emotional breakdown, Billy relapses. The drugs pull him back into darkness, reminding him how fragile his recovery is. This moment nearly destroys everything he's built. But unlike before, Billy recognizes the trap. He chooses to fight again. Billy returns harder, sharper, and more dangerous than ever before. The weakness that once clung to him is gone. The hesitation is gone. What steps back into the ring now isn't a broken addict fighting just to survive. It's a man forged by pain, discipline, and relentless repetition. Every scar on his body tells a story. Every breath he takes is controlled, focused. This time, Billy isn't guessing. He's ready. In his final bouts, Billy is thrown in against the elite of the prison, fighters with reputations built on destruction, men known for ending careers, crippling opponents, and sending others to the hospital instead of back to their cells. These aren't matches designed to be fair. They're designed to break someone. These men don't fight for points or pride. They fight to dominate, to humiliate, to send a message. Every match is savage, raw, and unforgiving. Elbows slice through flesh. Knees crash into ribs with bone-shaking force. Gloves thud against skin as blood stains the canvas beneath their feet. The crowd roars, feeding on violence, waiting for someone to fall and stay down. But Billy doesn't back down.
He fights through exhaustion that burns his lungs, through pain that threatens to shut his body down, through fear that whispers he won't survive this round. He keeps moving, keeps striking, keeps standing, driven by the knowledge that losing here doesn't just mean defeat. In this place, losing can mean humiliation or something far worse. Billy isn't fighting for trophies, titles, or applause anymore. There's no glory waiting for him. He's fighting to stay alive. And somehow, against every expectation, against every man put in front of him, Billy wins, again and again. The impossible becomes undeniable. The prison starts to notice. The noise changes, the laughter fades, the mockery disappears. Guards begin to watch closer. Inmates step aside. Billy is no longer seen as a weak foreign addict desperate for a fix. He's no longer easy prey. He's no longer entertainment. He's recognized for what he's become, a warrior. Freedom doesn't rush in like relief. It hits him like culture shock. After years of surviving minute to minute, the outside world feels unreal, almost dangerous in its calm. Billy walks out carrying more than a sentence served. His body is marked with scars, some visible, others buried deep beneath the skin. His mind is haunted by memories that refuse to fade. The violence, the fear, the nights he thought he wouldn't make it to morning. Prison doesn't stay behind those walls. It follows him out, lingering in his thoughts, his instincts, the way he looks over his shoulder without realizing it. But Billy doesn't leave empty-handed. He leaves with discipline forged through pain, control earned the hard way, and a sense of purpose he never had before. Where drugs once ruled his life, Muay Thai now takes their place. It gives him structure when everything else feels unstable. It gives him focus when the past tries to pull him back under. Inside one of the darkest places on earth, it gave him something he'd lost long ago, a reason to wake up, to stay clean, and to keep moving forward. Muay Thai didn't just change Billy Moore. It didn't just save him from prison. It saved his life. A Prayer Before Dawn isn't a story about winning fights, titles, or glory. It's not about applause, recognition, or being crowned a champion. It's about something far more brutal and far more personal. It's about fighting yourself, your fear, your weakness, your addictions, that relentless voice in your head telling you to quit, to give in, to disappear. In one of the darkest places imaginable, where violence is routine, mercy is rare, and hope is almost non-existent, Billy finds a reason to keep going. Not because life suddenly gets easier, not because luck turns in his favor, and not because anyone comes to save him. No one reaches out a hand, no miracle shows up at the last second. Billy earns it. He finds purpose through pain that strips him down to nothing, through discipline that forces him to rebuild himself piece by piece, and through perseverance that refuses him to give up, even when giving up would be easier. Every day becomes a test. Every fight becomes a choice, break or endure. Every punch he takes matters. Every round he survives leaves a mark, not just on his body, but on who he becomes. Sometimes redemption doesn't arrive as a miracle or a second chance. It doesn't come quietly, it doesn't feel gentle, and it definitely doesn't feel like salvation. More often than not, it feels like suffering, like sacrifice, like standing back up when you have every reason to stay down. Sometimes redemption hurts. Sometimes it bleeds. And sometimes redemption doesn't come as hope at all. Sometimes it comes as a fight.